Hi everyone, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Part of AT Direct's mission is to provide the best quality sports medicine possible for all the athletes we interact with. In doing this, we aim to help mold our athletic trainers into being the standard for the athletic training profession. In this short video, we'll be briefly discussing some of AT Direct's standards for documentation, as well as walk you through our EMR Dragonfly for where all these pieces of information are going to be kept. According to the NATA standards on best practice guidelines for documentation, there are 4 primary purposes to establishing documentation guidelines among the athletic training profession. Firstly, part of validating the role of an athletic trainer as a medical professional means being held to the same standard as all other medical professionals regarding patient documentation and patient care. Secondly, patient documentation should serve as an accurate and complete record of a patient's medical history and care received. Third, documentation and record keeping ensures consistent communication among the patient and all medical providers involved. Lastly, thorough documentation reduces the athletic trainer and their employer of malpractice in the event of litigation. So standardization of documentation is extremely vital because inadequate patient medical documentation could lead to poor patient outcomes as well as pose risk to the athletic trainer, the company, and even the profession as a whole. While we have a vision of becoming the standard for documentation among our profession, we will be focusing on only 6 vital pieces of information today. These are necessary and all are SOAP notes for the documentation to be considered complete. These are the patient's first and last name, their gender, date of birth, parent, guardian, first, last name, contact information, and their affiliated team. These may seem simple, but they're actually often missed in many of our incoming documentation records. This information is extremely important so that we can follow up with the family to check in, schedule appointments with our team physicians, and schedule rehabilitation in our clinic. Current best practice states that ATs should document any patient encounter had, and the NATA defines a patient encounter as any interaction with a patient when an athletic training service is provided or communication occurs regarding their health status. So let's go ahead and take a look now using Dragonfly. After a patient interaction, when you're beginning to enter in a SOAP note, you must either find the patient if he or she is already in our system or create a new patient profile. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. So you'll click on the hurricane button in the center of your screen. And next you'll click on new injury, or if they're already in the system, you can go ahead and click on add or find new user. So the first piece of information that we want to get is the patient's name. When you get to this screen, this is going to be where all this information is going to be kept. So you won't have to switch to any other screens. So from here, you can put in the second piece of information, which is their gender. The third piece, date of birth. And then the fourth, we're going to need to get a parent or guardian information. So you can click here on new relative, and you can actually add as many relatives as you'd like. If you click the button again, it'll pop up another section for information, but we really just need at least one. So you can go ahead and put a parent's name, their relation, and then for the fifth piece of information, we're going to need their contact information. So ideally, we want both a phone number as well as an email. Lastly, before you can even hit done, you'll have to click on the t-shirt to add their team. And that's when you can finally hit done. And it'll bring you to a new screen where you can begin to input their SOAP note. If you don't have time to do it right away, that's perfectly okay. You can hit cancel. That's what we're actually going to go ahead and do right now. We'll bring you back to the main screen, and you can look them up and find them later. So you'll click Teams, find their team, and then find the patient. So here is going to be their main profile. If you want to get back to their contact information, all you have to do is click up here and then select Edit Contact and Medical Info. And then that brings you back to this same screen. So that wraps it up for this video. Thanks again for your time. Keep a lookout for more short videos like this one in the future, where we'll be going over how to SOAP note in Dragonfly and then the standard and quality of the documentation AT Direct expects.